course, I didn't print out an agenda for myself. But I know that the first order of business is the reading and approval of the minutes from the last meeting, which was March 4th, I think? Whatever.
March 4th.
We did, yeah, you're right. We did meet last month. 11th. Yep. So, do I have a motion to accept the minutes?
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? The minutes are approved. There is only one case on the docket for this month, and that is case designated 2019-02, and that is the construction of a ground-mounted photovoltaic array on an existing property off of Aquidneck Avenue. Is there anyone here to present? Yes. Would you tell me your name and your address, please?
Sure, did you want the address of the property?
What's that?
The address of the property?
No problem. But for the tape, announce your
Oh.
name and your address, please.
Sure, it's Edmund DeTroya, and it's 32 Corsage Drive in Cranston.
Okay. And you are?
President of RESNI, Renewable Energy Services.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
sorry for interrupting, but before we get started, I wanted to ask if somebody could identify for me, how is it determined that this lot 115 in plat 114, how is it determined that that's within Watershed Protection District 1? Because I looked at that plat map today, and it's not within the Watershed Protection District 1. It's probably like, the closest is like 500, 600 feet away. So do you know how it was determined that, or?
Yeah,
Committee members, my name's Leon Pantaleos. I'm the homeowner, 560 Aquidneck Avenue. I believe because it has the Stisson soils, that's the reason that it under the watershed.
Okay.
So it's in zone 1 based on the soil
Based on the soil type.
characteristics.
Because of this,
We're
it's
still
kind of
doing
mixed
that?
soil.
Okay, thank you. It wasn't clear from the map, it wasn't.
Yeah, sometimes there's no waterway involved.
Yeah, it doesn't,
Yeah.
the maps don't identify.
I know that there's been,
Soil types,
there's
you're
been
right.
discussions in the past about not taking that into consideration and looking at the proximity of wetlands and that sort of thing. But as of right now, it's still designated zone 1 by virtue of the Stisson soil. Okay, continue, please.
It's pretty straightforward. I believe you have a plan here. There's an existing array on the property that's currently servicing a portion of his needs. We'd like to take that and continue it on the same line. They propose another 60 panels. That's been approved by National Grid to install. The reason for the extension here is Leon here is really transformed the house into a very efficient home with the addition of heat pumps. In fact, this may be one of very few homes in the state that may be totally off fossil fuels, that along with the electric cars that are getting proposed to transfer them over as well. So these new solar arrays here are going to take care of two things. Like I just said, the existing heat pumps and also future expansions for the electric cars. It's within the setbacks. As you can see here, it's 35 feet off the property line. I believe it's 25 feet. Unfortunately, as you can see in the notes here, when this was built years ago, I believe the setback was 15. They went with 20. Now, somewhere along the lines, you now pushed it back to 25. So we just want to continue that line up right there, as you can see in the plan, and continue, so it's one nice, straight, neat-looking line, straight, straight out at 20 feet.
So how far are you off the property line?
The existing array is off 20 feet, and we're going to line that new proposed array up off 20 feet off the property line.
Is there a berm there between that and the edge of the property?
I'm sorry?
Is there a fence or a,
Fence.
there's a fence?
Yeah, there's an existing fence, like probably about 6 feet high. What do we call that?
Yeah, it's
Poly fence across there.
And that would be continued through the new park?
No, you don't have to continue it. It starts at one end and goes all the ways to the other end. It's already
already
there. Yeah, it's already there. Everything's all set up, yep. It's already there.
So
Swales
this is just
and-
an extension of the existing array,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah, correct.
What is underneath the panels? What sort of ground is under there?
Well, we're gonna do there, if you notice here, you got a swale here, not to disrupt the flow of water. What we're gonna do is build it in such a way that the topography stays the same. And we're gonna take out that piece of sod there and put pea stone for drainage. Keep the topography the way it is, getting the water to run off just the way it is now, working its way to that swale, and working its way out. So what that'll require us is the footings are gonna change elevations as they go along. And we'll go back and we'll cut the top of the pipe to keep the grade all nice and level.
Do you use any weed suppressant or grass suppressant on the pea gravel after it's installed regularly? To keep the weeds or vegetation?
We're gonna be putting a weed barrier down, correct?
Does it have any chemicals in it?
No, just a regular weed barrier. We'll put that down, actually, we'll probably put 2 layers down, and then put the pea stone on top.
Any other questions? I don't see any issues with this. You're actually located not too far from a huge array that's in the industrial park as well, on Chacon Way there.
Yeah, what's the
Any
problem?
issues that you can think of?
I don't have any issues, Mr. Chairman. I would just say that, as the applicant indicated, there is a swale along that property line you've been talking about, and there is a berm. It shows up on the topography, and this drainage all runs to the west. It gets into a swale that pushes it around Corporate Park and then eventually down into Quinnick Avenue drainage system. So, just other than your standard, normal stipulations, backfill with the material that comes out of the trenches, anything like that. Erosion control measures.
And I think I speak for the commission when I say that we applaud the idea of renewable energy. And I think it's a great idea. Until the next big thing comes around.
That's a good.
Or little fusion reactors or something. Does anyone want to put forth a motion on this?
Motion that we approve of this.
Motion has been put out that we, and seconded that we recommend approval of this.
Any stipulations on the,
Just what erosion control measures during construction. But, yeah, I don't see the problem. Any other further discussion?
The other thing I would say, I'm sorry to come in later, but I don't know whether you could do this, but I didn't see anywhere on the documentation, and as I said earlier, I didn't see it on the plat map either, any identification that this is a stissing soil area. So if you could maybe annotate somewhere in your documentation that there is a stissing soil element on the property, which is why you had to come before the Conservation Commission for the Zone 1. Because if you just look at the documentation, it's not clear at all. qualifies as a Zone 1 WPD area.
Yeah, I mean, I remember when I had to build a house, they required a special use permit because of that fact, because of
Right.
existing soil, and they said because you needed a special use permit to build a house. The first array I did, they didn't require anything, you know, and I don't understand why a continuation of this array now, I guess,
Well,
you know, they changed.
When,
was the first array done when the house was built?
No, the first array was done in 2012, with no requirements, I mean, it just,
yeah, 'cause we didn't see it.
and the second half, if you look at it on the map, it's, the first array is designated on existing soil. This array here, it's only maybe a quarter of it, the rest, like you said, it doesn't have existing soil.
Maybe, Mr. Chairman, if we just put it in our meeting minutes that it was identified that it's on stissic soil, then that would provide documentation.
Yes. Well, now that we've discussed it, it is part of the minutes. So.
Yeah.
All right, in that case, we will move on to a vote unless there's more.
As presented.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? The motion is passed to recommend approval of this project.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Good luck.
One thing I would like to say and put on the record is recognition of the death of Audrey Rearick. Audrey was a longtime member of this commission and also a longtime member of the planning board. I found out around November of last year that she had passed away in May. And I only found out because I hadn't seen her walking her dog in my house in a long time. So I called her to find out if she was okay and found the phone was disconnected. So then I did a little bit more investigation and I found her obituary from the previous May. So I'm ashamed that I did not know that she had passed, and I'm sorry that she did. But she was a very good citizen of Middletown, and she served on several boards and other organizations in the town. And I just wanted to make sure that we acknowledged her passing. Thank you, everybody. Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. We are adjourned.